Have you ever stopped to wonder why we celebrate Thanksgiving? What are the origins of this beloved American holiday? Hello and welcome to 5-Minute Fast Facts. In the heart of America's past, we find the beginning of Thanksgiving. It's a tale that takes us back to the 17th century, a time of daring exploration and new beginnings. Picture this: a group of brave individuals, known as the Pilgrims, set foot on the shores of what would become Plymouth, Massachusetts. Their journey was marked by trials and tribulations, but they persevered. With the autumn of 1621 came their first successful harvest, a vital sign of survival and prosperity. This called for a celebration, and thus the first Thanksgiving was born. But they didn't feast alone. Joining them were the Wampanoag Native Americans, a key part of this historic event. But wait, there's more to this story. Are you ready to delve deeper into the history of Thanksgiving? Who were these pilgrims, and why were they celebrating in the New World? Stepping back to the year 1620, we find a group of people known as the Pilgrims. These folks were religious separatists from England who sought to find a place where they could freely practice their faith. To achieve this, they embarked on a perilous journey across the Atlantic on a ship called the Mayflower. Their voyage was far from smooth sailing. They faced treacherous seas, cramped conditions, and a journey that took over 2 months to complete. Upon their arrival in the New World, they found themselves in the midst of a brutal winter. Nearly half of the Pilgrims didn't survive that first frigid season due to illness and harsh living conditions. Now, let's shift our gaze to the indigenous people already inhabiting this land, the Wampanoag. They had been living on this land for thousands of years, mastering the art of living in harmony with nature. When they encountered the struggling Pilgrims, they didn't turn their backs. Instead, they extended a hand of friendship and cooperation. The Wampanoag taught these newcomers to cultivate the land, showing them how to grow corn, beans, and squash, foods that would become staples in their diet. They shared their knowledge of fishing and hunting, skills that would prove critical for the Pilgrims' survival. This collaborative relationship culminated in a grand celebration during the harvest season of 1621. This feast, which lasted for 3 days, was a time of sharing and gratitude. The Pilgrims and the Wampanoag ate together, played games, and celebrated the fruits of their combined labor. This gathering is what we now recognize as the first Thanksgiving. Yet, it is crucial to remember that this event wasn't just about feasting and merriment. It was a symbol of unity, mutual respect, and collaboration between two vastly different cultures. The first Thanksgiving, however, was not all feasting and celebration. There's a darker side to the story. What if I told you that the first Thanksgiving wasn't exactly the harmonious event we imagine? Let's delve into the darker side of this annual celebration. Thanksgiving, as it's commonly portrayed, is a peaceful gathering between the Pilgrims and Native Americans, yet the reality was far more complex and strained. The relationship between the Pilgrims and the Native Americans was not always amicable. Conflicts were frequent, often over land disputes. The Pilgrims, having crossed the Atlantic in search of a new home, were intent on establishing their settlements. This, however, came at a cost. The land they desired was already home to the Native Americans, leading to inevitable clashes. In addition to these territorial battles, the arrival of the Pilgrims also brought with them diseases from Europe, for which the Native Americans had no immunity. These diseases spread rapidly, causing devastation among the Native American tribes, with losses so great they changed the demographics of entire communities. Violence, too, was part of this history. It wasn't uncommon for disagreements to escalate into full-blown battles, further straining the relationship between these two groups. Now let's address the so-called First Thanksgiving. The event that took place in 1621 wasn't even originally referred to as Thanksgiving. It was a 3-day feast, a gathering, yes, but not an annual event, and certainly not the peaceful, joyous occasion we celebrate today. While it's true that the Pilgrims and the Wampanoag tribe did share a harvest feast, it was not a tradition that continued. In fact, the concept of an annual Thanksgiving celebration didn't solidify until centuries later. So how did we get from this tumultuous history to the modern holiday we know and love today? The evolution of Thanksgiving, its transformation into a national holiday centered on gratitude, family, and food, is a fascinating journey. But that's a story for the next scene. Stay tuned to learn how Thanksgiving evolved from its complex roots into the beloved tradition it is today. Thanksgiving, as we know it today, didn't come into existence until centuries later. The history of Thanksgiving is not just about the harvest festival of the Pilgrims and the Wampanoag tribe. it's also a story of persistence and resilience, of one woman's dream to unite a nation, and the evolution of traditions that make the holiday what it is today. Let's take a journey back to the 19th century, to a woman named Sarah Josepha Hale. An editor and writer, Hale saw the power of Thanksgiving in bringing people together. She envisioned it as a national holiday, a celebration that would transcend the divisions of states and regions. For nearly 3 decades, she campaigned tirelessly, writing letters to 5 different presidents and publishing numerous articles. Her persistence paid off in the midst of the Civil War, when President Abraham Lincoln saw the unifying potential of a national Thanksgiving. In the grim year of 1863, Lincoln issued a proclamation declaring the last Thursday of November as a day of Thanksgiving. It was a beacon of hope and unity in a time of strife and division. As the years rolled on, Thanksgiving evolved, taking on new traditions that added layers to its rich tapestry. In the 1920s, Macy's department store in New York City started the Thanksgiving Day Parade, a spectacle of floats and balloons that has since become a beloved annual event. And let's not forget the quirky tradition of the president's turkey pardon, which started unofficially with President Truman in 1947 and has since become a whimsical part of the holiday's modern identity. From its humble beginnings to the grand holiday it is today, Thanksgiving has transformed, mirroring the growth and evolution of the nation itself. It's a testament to the power of unity, the value of tradition, and the enduring importance of giving thanks. If you're enjoying our content, please like and subscribe to 5-Minute Fast Facts. So there you have it, the complex and fascinating history of Thanksgiving.